Colin the runner, Nick's the coach. Colin wants up 3. Nick's a 3-hour pacer, it makes sense. This is Chasing Nick.
Today on Idiot School Running, actually, it's an Idiot School Running spin-off mini-series, should we call it, Nick?
Yeah, let's call it a mini-series, yeah.
We'll call it a mini-series.
A spin-off makes it sound maybe a little bit too grand.
Yeah. But the Idiot School Running is grand. It's a mini-series within the Idiot School Running universe. That's what
that'll do.
What is Chasing Nick? Myself, an ultramarathoner, run many marathons, and somehow, I don't know how I did it, last year I ran a 3:14 Belfast Marathon, and I have no idea how I did it. I just sat behind a pacer and I just bundled along through the marathon, and that's my story. And this year it sort of got me going, thinking, could I do 3 hours? Can I hit 3 hours? I don't know, maybe I could, but I can't do this by myself. Enter Nick. Nick, tell us, I suppose you've been on loads of times. Tell us about, we've heard about Nick the runner. Tell us about Nick the coach. And why is it Chasing Nick instead of Chasing 3?
Well, I suppose the Chasing 3 and Chasing Nick thing, handily enough, going to be probably the same thing for you, Colin. Because as a coach, I coach all sorts of athletes. So yes, I've got some ultra runners and I've got some couch to 5K type people. But I obviously have a bit of a leaning towards the marathon distance, just in terms of the way that my own personal training has gone over the last few years. But the reason that this is quite a special sort of time for you and me as a pair is that I am going to be the official 3-hour pacer for Belfast Marathon. And you are entered into Belfast Marathon. So not only am I going to be your coach, I'm also going to be running exactly on 3-hour pace with a big flag on my back for you to chase me.
And do you know, Nick, this just happened randomly. Maybe the cosmic universe basically put us together in this space at this time. But I thought, I want to do a 3-hour marathon, and I'm going to get Nick to help me through this. And that was all good, and I was all happy. And then I seen an Instagram post on Running, which is your Instagram handle, going, I'm going to be the 3-hour pacer. And I'll not lie to you, Nick, I was a wee bit, what have I done? I can't take it back now. He's going to see me the whole way. You know, if I go off too hot, he's going to be like, oh, slow down. Or I'm sure you won't say that.
Oh, I'm going to stop you there. I'm hoping not to see you at all. You need to be there somewhere behind me.
Yeah. I want to be in your shadow. I want to be in your shadow until the last mile, where you just see me bursting past you and going, wow, I've done it. I've made this idiot into a 3-hour marathon runner, maybe sub. But today we're not going to talk about my training. We're not going to talk about what I've been doing, because we're just a wee bit into the process. Today we're talking about, previously I had no coach. I have never had a coach. And I just Google things. I just run out and do things. And that's just the way I get on. That's the way a lot of people get on, Nick. Tell us from your experience. Now, there's positives and there's negatives in everything. Give us a wee quick breakdown into all the different coaching options out there, whether it be apps, whether it be maybe a no coach, whether it be a personal coach, a group coaches. I don't know. Tell us all the different varieties and options we have out there.
Yeah, maybe this is best told as from my personal story, because I started seriously training about 20 years ago, and there wasn't, the internet just about existed, didn't it? But social media, the iPhone, that definitely didn't exist. So your sources of information were limited. Now, we still have those sources of information today, and to me, those are books, really. Your friends, or your training partners, so your coaching group, your running club, people that you interact with on a regular basis that maybe are more experienced than you, and also back then you did have coaches who were doing one-to-one sessions, or would send you your training plans via, I don't know, Telegram or something. But no, just about 20 years ago, email didn't exist. So actually, so I had a coach when I was doing a lot of my Ironman and ultra endurance stuff. I did have an actual real life human coach, and I took a lot of inspiration from him. But also, yes, the people that I was training with were a big source of information, and that was it really. And I picked up a couple of books and read a bit about nutrition and got that badly wrong. But yes, information was limited. Whereas let's come forward to today, and there is just so much information out there. It's almost an overload. And I think really the big thing in the last maybe couple of years has been the apps, such as the Runna app, for example. And you can put in, your target times and maybe a specific race, and give it your rough kind of training paces and your goal time, and it will generate a reasonable running plan. But obviously it is just an electronic device, and it may have some human input at the front end, but let's be honest, when you've got thousands and thousands of people, you can't have it truly bespoke with a lot of human input every day. But the apps do seem to help a lot of people. It's just not a truly sort of bespoke, and it can't react to you as an individual in the same way that a lot of people might now go to, say, ChatGPT. And I've done this myself just to have a look and see what it generates. And you can go onto ChatGPT and say, I would like to run Belfast Marathon in 3 hours. How do I train? Now, obviously, the more information you give it, the more bespoke it will, the more bespoke a plan it will create for you. But it'll generally give you something for the time period you've asked it for. So let's say 16 or 18 weeks. And then people can follow that. So yes, there is a lot more information out there. You also go onto Instagram or Facebook or TikTok if you're under the age of, 30. And, there's lots of influencers out there. Some people might level that at me, although I don't really feel like I'm not sure I influence anybody other than...
If you influence one person, you're technically an influencer. If you do one run, you're technically a runner. So you're an influencer.
Do you know how somebody told me how you know whether you're a runner or not?
Go.
I don't know if you ever heard this. So you know you're a runner if somebody meets you and describes you as a jogger and you're annoyed by it. If somebody says, have you been out for a jog? And you're annoyed, you're a runner.
Jogging's very old school. Jogging even feels retro, saying the word jogging. So I think I'm a runner. If someone say you're a jogger, I'm going, no, I'm a runner. I'm a real life runner. I'm an ultra marathoner and a marathoner. That's what I am.
With a coach.
Yeah, with the coach. I'm nearly professional.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say you are. If you got paid £1 once for doing something, then surely that means you've been paid for it and you are a pro.
Does sponsored by Protein Rebel help?
See? Sponsored athlete. Yeah, loads of sources of information. I suppose the thing about having somebody like me or another running coach who is a real life human being who interacts with you in a variety of ways. I mean, even if it's just online, the client, the athlete that is being coached is giving continual feedback to the person who is coaching them and saying, I found this session easy. I found this session hard. I've got a bit of an injury. I'm a bit sick. The kids are off school. It's the summer holidays. What do I do with my training? And the beauty about having somebody just to act as almost like a mentor to guide you in how to deal with life and training together as an entity. Whereas something like a plan out of a book or a plan off ChatGPT or an app, it just can't react as quickly, and you can't text it and say, Nick, I've got a bit of a shin niggle and I'm not sure what to do with that speed session today. Should I do it? Should I not? And then inevitably I'll say, don't be daft. But, there's things like that. So it just can't interact. And that's where the value of having somebody actually looking at your training every day and deciding week on week what it is you need to do to get you to where you want to be. The other thing I would say for somebody like you, Colin, your season, should we call it, is pretty complex. So yes, you have the Chasing Nick, Chasing 3 marker as your first event, but we know that then there is a 100-mile race and then a 350-mile multi-day event. Now, try putting that into ChatGPT or Runna and see what you get. It'll probably melt its circuits, I would rate. So, yeah, whereas I look at that and go, well, in the context of the 3-hour marathon target, this is a useful run, but I also need to be mindful of just what it is that the real goals are this year, and where to make the sacrifices.
Yeah. And you know what? You actually took my next point of why did I choose Nick? Should we just repeat what you just said, or should I just edit this and play back that again? But yeah, so this year, if anyone who doesn't listen to Idiots Go Running, if anybody who doesn't know me knows that I originally signed up for a 350-mile race. That was everything to me. And then I seen a post by We Run Wild NI of the NI 100, and I got fear of missing out. So I signed up for that. And then I signed up for, could I do a sub 3-hour marathon? And that's where you come in. So where the other, I want a coach to stop me getting injured. But you know as well as I do, I'll go out and I'll run big miles. Now, do them big miles help? Probably. But you really need someone I need someone looking over to me to go, and Colin, you're going to sacrifice all 3 if you don't get the first one right. And
yeah,
that's where a human coach, sorry for being sensible. This is the Idiots Go Running mini-series. Sorry for being sensible, but that's where my thought process is. I can't let down Matt and I can't let down Andrew out of pure egotistical running. I want to do everything, which I do want to do everything. And we'll get on to the training plan and how I'm feeling about the training plan and my views on having a coach. Do I like it? Do I not like it? What are tempo runs? What are strides? Nick, these are all new to me. I was reading through all these things going, what's all this stuff? And that's what this journey's all about. What's a coach give you, and what's all these things about coaching? I've never done it before. And Nick, do you want to finish with any last things? Anything I've missed?
I think it's just that if anybody was looking at, say somebody had no plan at all, they've got into running and they are thinking, what is the next big step for me in terms of trying to move on in my performance, or trying to target a specific race, or doing their first marathon? I would say that whilst the apps do look very attractive, they're quite nicely priced, they're pretty accessible to everyone. I do know the people that have used them have felt that actually they maybe do suit a more experienced athlete, and it probably is worth finding somebody, if you are new to running or looking to step up in distance, finding somebody close to you, or at least a human real life coach that can act as a mentor and just guide you. Because as you said, Colin, the big problems is that people can go out and run the mileage and they look at a plan, and then when it starts to go wrong and they get a bit sore, they get obsessed with following the plan because the app says you need to go out and do that. Whereas a real coach, a human coach, will often say, look, take a day off, take it easy, go slower. And I think it really helps. So almost the newer you are and the less experience you have, the more benefit you'll get from having a coach.
So, Nick, how can people reach out if they want the best running coach in the world? How can people reach out?
Well, if you want the best running coach in the world, I'll have to look him up. But if you want to contact me, the best way is probably via Instagram. And my handle is at running RNNNG _ Nick Weston, or my website, which is running.co.uk. So rnng.co.uk. And there's a message function on there, and you can just drop me a line. Any questions, always happy to answer them. Any advice people need, or a quick overview of their training, fire away.
Brilliant. Thank you. And this is Chasing Nick. we'll see you on the next episode where we talk more about strides and other things.
See you soon.
Calling the runner.